Another nail in my coffin! Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete here, and this is my series Nails in a Coffin, where we learn that with great kills there must always come great nails. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here. We're covering Saw 2 this week. I covered Saw last week, and that movie had an average nails in a coffin of 1.4 nails. Now, there were only 5 on-screen deaths in that movie, and this one does have a few more. Now, as a quick reminder with my Nails in a Coffin series, I'm not actually reviewing the movie. I'm just talking about some key moments, the kills, the most important part, and how we get led up to them with my analysis on the actions of the victim. So, let's find out how Jigsaw's victims fare with my Nails in the Coffin. That can't be a good sign. Okay, well, that's the first kill. We start with police informant Michael Marks. He wakes up with Jigsaw's Venus flytrap wrapped around his neck. The videotape, of course, tells him he's got 1 minute to cut a key out of his head that's hidden behind his right eye. Video footage shows him of Jigsaw actually performing the surgery on his eye, so he knows it's real, and there's even a shot of an x-ray showing a key behind his eye. He grabs a scalpel and he's trying to bring himself to cut his eye out. He's panicked and he just can't bring himself to cut his eyeball out. So he tries, with time running, to cut it out, but he cuts his eye. The pain is too much. He throws the scalpel down, falls to his knees. He's screaming for help, but time eventually does run out and the trap closes on his head, killing him. Alright, we start this movie with the early set of nails. One of the earliest out of all the movies I've covered so far. And I'm going to award Michael 1 nail in the coffin. Now, I'm giving him 1 nail since I feel he actually could have survived this. He was shown a video to prove that there was a key behind his eye. There was a wound on his eye. He felt it. And I think his biggest mistake was yanking the wire that was attached to the trap, which actually started the time because he was just freaking out. The video told him the trap was attached to a spring-loaded timer, and he still yanked it. His time was running out fast if he couldn't bring himself to cut his eye out, which I get. The other option is certain death. It's not going to be easy to cut your eyeball out, but it's pretty much the lesser of two evils here. I mean, it wasn't going to be easy, but it was better than giving up. At least, even if it closed on your head and you tried to get your eyeball out, at least you tried something. You just didn't give up. Time was of the essence, and I know he was stressed out, but I think he still deserves 1 nail in a coffin. I wouldn't have given him more if he didn't wait so long to try and cut his eye out. He kept kind of procrastinating it, and he gave up and threw the scalpel away, so that's why he's only going to get 1 nail in the coffin. Now, Michael, he was a police informant working for Detective Eric Matthews, no longer the new kid on the block. Using his detective skills, the police track a name on Michael's trap to Wilson Steel Plant. SWAT team enters the building. They're clearing room by room. They see a staircase surrounded by a cage. They cut the lock and ascend the stairs. Once halfway up, Billy the puppet on a tricycle wheels to the top of the stairs, and we hear that famous laugh. Yep, that one. The lead SWAT officer is standing on a step that gives way. The trap breaks both of his legs. He falls down the stairs, and the 2 officers behind him touch the cage, and they're both electrocuted to death. I'm going to award both of these officers 2 nails in the coffin apiece. They were doing their job. Not sure what intel they actually had on the place. It was probably last minute. But if they knew about the potential traps, it's not clear, but I'm pretty sure it was short notice. But based on what I saw, they were just doing their job. They got caught in one of Jigsaw's traps, which a lot of people get caught in. And I just didn't see them make any stupid decisions. They were clearing a room. They were active. They were looking around. Yeah, I didn't see them do anything stupid that aided in their demise. So the best I can do for them is give them 2 nails in a coffin apiece. Our next death is going to occur after 8 strangers wake up locked up in a boarded house. We've got Daniel, Amanda from the first Saw, Xavier, Jonas, Addison, Laura, Abby, and Gus. In a nice touch of misdirection, Amanda freaks out knowing she's in one of Jigsaw's traps. She starts looking around the room and she finds a tape hidden in a brick wall. When they play the tape, it's Jigsaw and he informs them about the nerve gas they're all breathing in and then antidotes are throughout the house. The doors open will happen in 3 hours, but they only have 2 hours left of that toxin with the nerve agent. One antidote is locked in the safe, and Jigsaw messages tells them that the combination to the safe is in the back of their minds with the correct orders number found over the rainbow. The group also finds a key with a message that warns them to not use this key to open a door. Xavier chooses to ignore that warning and he uses the key in the door, despite Amanda telling him not to do it. Gus agrees with Xavier, and while Xavier is using the key in the door, Gus looks through the peephole. Xavier turns the key, which activates a trap behind the door, which is a barrel of a gun pointed at the peephole. The gun goes off and Gus is killed. Gus, you earned yourself 1.5 nails in the coffin. Granted, most of this was Xavier's fault, but Gus did decide to go with Xavier to use the key on the door. Looking through the peephole was his worst mistake, but that's not why I'm giving him 1.5 nails. When the tape was playing, Amanda was acting like she knew what was going on, so she warned him to listen to the note. This one was pretty simple, just listen to the note. They had no other information really to go on yet. They were only told a few things. One of them was not to use the key. Gus only escapes 1 nail in the coffin since it was Xavier that actually used the key, but Gus did follow him along like a little puppy. Amanda tells everybody why she knows so much about the tape. This is not her first time in a jigsaw trap. After listening to her, everybody starts to look around the room for the actual key to the door. Suddenly, the door opens by itself. The group are a bit cautious as they get closer to it. It looks clear if any more traps, and the group heads out to the rest of the house. The group finally locate a hidden passageway that leads to the basement. Once they're there, they find a tape that tells them it was actually Obi that helped Jigsaw kidnap everybody. Obi had to do it since he was under instructions from Jigsaw. The tape also says there are 2 syringes with the antidote in them inside the furnace. Somebody has to crawl into them. It's Obi's trap, so he says he's going to do it. He crawls inside, grabs the first syringe. That one's for him. And he rolls onto his back to grab the other one, but he pulls the chain the syringe is attached to. This closes the door to the furnace, and it ignites. The fire is spreading quickly, and Obi is starting to burn. The others can't get him out. Obi sees a valve inside and tells him to turn me, but he doesn't go for it. The other members are trying in vain to get him out, but nothing is working at all. Xavier breaks the other end that has a window on it. Obi's able to get his arm and head out, but it's too late, and Obi was burnt to death. Yeah, that must have been a painful death for Obi, but the best I can do is give him 1 nail in the coffin. He did exactly what Jigsaw wanted him to do. I know time was of the essence, but there were other options than just kind of crawling in there, kind of think it out. I would have told the others to prop the door open with something, make sure it wasn't going to shut on me, hold it, something, because it's a trap. By now they know they're in a trap house. He also didn't try and turn the valve once he was inside and he was burning, but there's no knowing what that would have done, but it was a better option than doing nothing. I mean, granted, you're burning, at least go try and do it, because when Jigsaw creates a trap, it's survivable. There are going to be consequences for sure, but when Jigsaw sets a trap, they are survivable. So I had to give Obi 1 nail in the coffin, A, for pulling the chain attached to the syringe instead of just trying to take the syringe off, and for not even trying to turn the valve. There are other reasons, but these are the main 2. I'm only going to give him 1 nail in the coffin. The next death occurs after they failed to find a key to another locked door that was hidden in a pile of 1,000 used syringes. They only had a short amount of time before the door would stay locked forever. The trap was meant for Xavier since he is a drug dealer, but he throws Amanda into the pit instead. It's hard to watch. She finds a key, but it's too late and the door actually stays locked. Xavier finally decided to go it on his own because that's Xavier, and he returns to the room that the group actually woke up in. He notices a color number on the back of Gus's neck, and he soon realizes that every prisoner has a number of the safe's combination written on their neck. Jonas enters the room. He's puking up blood because of the toxin, and he's trying to convince Xavier to cooperate with each other and do this all together. They have some common grounds that they both actually serve time, but Xavier doesn't care about anybody but himself, so he tells Jonas to turn around and he pulls a knife on him. They fight, and it goes back and forth for a minute. Jonas was able to knock Xavier down. Xavier gets up behind him and smashes Jonas in the back of the head with a spiked baseball bat, killing him. Jonas, I'm giving him 2.5 nails in a coffin. I like how he wanted to reason with Xavier and get everyone to work together. He tried to find common grounds, and they both served time in prison. He was literally dying on the inside, and he also still found the strength to fight off Xavier, who was much bigger and stronger than him. He thought Xavier was down, and Jonas was coughing up more blood, struggling to breathe. He was really weak. But he fought when he had to, and he tried to work together at first. His motivation was the safety of his loved ones outside the house. And taking all that into consideration, I got to give him credit for that, earning himself 2.5 nails in the coffin. After killing Jonas, Xavier gets the number from the back of his head, and he starts to hunt for the others. Addison, Amanda, Laura, and Daniel are still walking through the house. Laura collapses due to the toxin. Amanda's holding Laura in her arms, and Laura starts to seize and choke on her vomit, and eventually she passes away due to the poison in her system. Laura, I'm not going to nail her. However, she did nothing stupid in this movie. She was kidnapped and she breathed in poison. The poison just got to her faster than the others. That's nothing I see here where I can give her a rating. I didn't notice her do anything stupid that aided in her demise. So, Laura's getting a pass, hopefully sitting in 7th heaven right now. Alright, after Laura's death, Addison splits up from Daniel and Amanda. She finds a room with another antidote locked inside a glass box overhead hanging from the ceiling. There's another tape and an envelope attached to the device, but she just throws that away. She puts the first arm up through the blades, but it gets stuck, and she tries to move the syringe. It empties the contents out. She then puts her other arm up through the hole, and that one gets stuck. She's screaming for help. Xavier shows up, gets the number from the back of her head, and then he leaves her to bleed out and die. Another easy one for me here. Addison earned herself 1 nail in the coffin. We don't know what was on the tape, since she kind of just threw it to the side, and she kind of recklessly just put her first arm up through the hole with the blades. That one gets stuck. Instead of using her other arm maybe to prop the blades up so she can slide her arm out, she puts it through the other hole that looked exactly like the first one. Of course, that one was going to get stuck. Unfortunately for her, no one else was around to help her out, and Xavier was a big piece of shit. But Addison still made some very stupid mistakes, so therefore she's only going to get 1 nail in the coffin. Okay, Amanda and Daniel are currently running away from Xavier. Amanda conveniently finds a hidden tunnel which leads them to the decrepit bathroom from the first film. We see the decayed bodies of Zepp and Adam, as well as the dreaded pirate Robert's severed foot. It's clearly been some time since the events of the first film. Now, weakened by the gas, Daniel passes out right before Xavier finds them. He's making typical threats, and Amanda points out that he can't read his number without her help, hoping to prevent Xavier from harming them. However, Xavier refuses her help and uses a knife to cut off the skin from the back of his neck. After that, he approaches them to get their numbers, but he's caught off guard by Daniel, who attacks him and slashes him in the throat with a hacksaw. Xavier is our final death in Saw 2, and I'm giving him, hear it with me, 1 nail in the coffin. It was a big mistake to go off on his own. Working as a team, everyone would have been better off. But the chance of this group working together as a team effectively was probably a slim one. Still, Xavier's actions and decisions were really selfish, downright evil, especially tossing Amanda in the pit of needles. All his decisions were stupid and selfish. Now, I'll give him credit for having the fortitude to cut the back of his neck skin off, but he was the reason Gus was killed. He almost killed Amanda, and he left Addison to die. So there are multiple reasons. If they worked together and he wasn't so stupid and selfish, they may have survived. All these reasons, he's going to get 1 nail in the coffin. All right, the movie ends with another great stinger. The group that we all have been watching for the whole movie, well, that already happened. More time displacement here. Detective Matthews had Jigsaw in his vehicle, forced him to take him to go see his son. He never gets word that his son Daniel was actually in the safe by Jigsaw the entire time. He enters the washroom and finds the bodies of Xavier and the others. His son and Amanda are not there. He's slowly approaching a tub, hoping that's not his son in there. When he gets close enough, he's attacked by somebody wearing a pig mask. He's stabbed in the leg with a syringe, knocking him out before he can shoot this person. When he wakes up, he plays a tape that's by him, and it's Amanda. She is a now protege of Jigsaw, and the detective is her final test. He's now chained up to the wall, similar to the guys in the first movie. Amanda closes the door saying game over as he's screaming into the dark. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my nails in a coffin for Saw 2. Here's a summary of all the nails I've awarded. And this is how the first 2 movies compare with their average nails in a coffin. First Saw, average of 1.4 nails in a coffin. Saw 2, a little bit lower with 1.25. And I think that's due to the fact that a lot of these people who were trapped in the house made a lot of dumb decisions right away. Well, I will see you here next week when I cover Saw 3, which I believe came out another year later after this movie. So, yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I gotta figure out where that laugh keeps coming from. This may not be good if my track record with these videos is true. But, we'll have to see what happens here next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Be good to each other. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. And remember, with great kills, there must always come great nails.